Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Uh, I'm still on that Thunderbird model, and I get it. This is going on long enough. I understand that. I understand. I watched some of you guys put these videos up, and I think one day you got the car started, you got it painted. Next video, you're showing it off. Boom, it's done. Amazing. Love it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Be patient. It's gonna look good. So I think the biggest thing for me is that the interior is key because this is a convertible. And after the body turned out so nice, I want it to look nice now. Now I'm like, oh, it's on. Oh, it's on. So it's one of those trying to make it look good. So, because you see half the paint, yeah, it looks cool. And then you look inside, like, ooh, the inside looks really nice. It's a convertible. You see everything. So, anyways, I'm trying to get this wrapped up. So I'm gonna do the interior. I'm going to put the carpet in there. I've seen this procedure done a gazillion times. Guys using sand and different things. I'm gonna try using the grout, and I've never done this. This is the first time for me. So we're gonna share the experience together. We're gonna try to, anyways, and we'll see how it goes. All right, this is our bag of grout, and it is very dark, as you can see the color of it. It's a fine grout, and they say it's America's #1, so we'll see. So we're going to use this and put it to the test, see how it works. Got my banana twins ready to go, so breakfast is on. Actually, wife made me a good breakfast this morning, so we're good there. That's just a teaser. Banana twins, you gotta love them. Love them. Love them. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna use this, and I'm gonna start on the base of the interior here. So basically gonna take a little bit of, I don't know if I'm gonna use white glue or some Mod Podge, sorry. And get this going first, and then I might just take the grout by hand and just sprinkle it. I don't have a little sifter thing to put it through, so I might just do it by hand. But we'll try it out. Let's see how it works. Okay, guys, we are. So I got my grout mixed. A little cup here. I didn't want to reach into the bag, so I just did my little dipping cup. We're pretty good. All right, I'll show you how we're doing here. Alright guys, so we're using the Mod Podge. I opened mine like a 4-year-old, so it's handy. Got a couple cups. I got my grout mixed up. Well, it's not mixed up, it's just in the mixing cup, I should say. Like I say, it's just a real dark color. So we're going to try this, because this works nice if you're doing like a black carpet. What I'm going to do is we're going to try to do this in blue. So the other thing too I noticed with the body, obviously you don't want to get the grout all the way up into here and across, because when you go to put that seat in, it's not going to sit right. So that seat sits against those lines. So I would basically want to keep my grout just to the edge of that seat, and because that fits nice and tight. So I want it to sit like that once it's all said and done. So we'll have to put a little reference there. So I'm just going to take my X-Acto, put a scribe in here. And that way I know how far to go, which obviously would be the width of the plastic. But you know how guesstimation goes. You'd be like, whoops, that was further than I thought. Alright, so now I got that part. I'm going to take a Sharpie. Oh, and I moved the camera. Wow. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so I'm just going to take a Sharpie and just put a line where I just scribe that, just so I know. Actually, I tell you what, if you just take a Sharpie, that Sharpie's about the width of that plastic. As long as you keep it around that width, you should be golden. Keep it between the lines, folks. Alright, let's get this mixed up here. A 1, a 2, 3. You guys remember the owl commercial with the lollipop thing where he's crunching on them? How many licks to the center of the lollipop or whatever? Good stuff. Alright. So I think I'll take one of these guys here. So I don't get too carried away with water. I just need just a little bit. Just enough to cut it, just so it's not so thick. It's nice. It's nice. Alright, do a little stir. It's enough to thin it. Just don't want it to be just too thick. So that's not bad, but I think we'll go just a little bit more. Obviously, you guys are just gonna mix this to your liking, to your taste. But it don't take a lot of water, I know that. I'll do a little more here. There we go. That looks good. You guys can see that or not. So it's just nice, pretty milky. It's a little thicker than milk. I'd put it that way for consistency wise. Alright. Alright, so I know everybody in their stash somewhere has an old crappy paintbrush that they don't use but for anything but some weird whatever. Today's that day. This is an old brush. I used to use this to tape. I'd tape a car body on before I bought one of these. And I'd tape a car body on it, and I'd use this to paint. And this was my holder. So now today, it's my applier. Alright. So just a real light, just a nice light coat. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep it in between that paint line. And obviously, if it's something I'd have to remove later on, I'm sure it wouldn't be a big deal. Now, I see on this kit, you can go under the seats. So if you really wanted to super detail this and put I don't know, like a magazine or something sticking out of the bottom of the seat, you could easily do that in this kit. Because they give you the room to do so. So it shouldn't take too much, and I know I mixed well enough more than what I need. See, it's almost too runny to where it won't. I don't want it running down the side. It shouldn't take much to stick this. And once I put the grout down, I'm sure it'll stay. Plus I'm noticing as I go, it's drying pretty good. I just don't want it pooled to where it's going to leave chunks. Get her up in the footwell there. So just nice little even coat. You don't have to do nothing fancy, nothing magic. And we'll put our grout in here and we'll just sprinkle it on. You can obviously do more the better, because we're just going to sprinkle it back off. Just like so. So I'm going to leave that set for just a few minutes, and we'll come back to it. We'll see how it did. Okay. So we have carpet. We're going to let that dry for a little bit, and we're going to paint, and we're going to do the cleanup, because probably should have wore gloves. That's okay. So yeah, I can see that's drying already. It looks pretty nice. So we're going to have a nice shag carpet in here. It should look very 60s. So I'm just hoping it paints okay, which I don't really want it the same color blue as the seats. I want it a little darker, so that should work pretty good to me. So I know that paint's going to soak in really good. So I'm sure gonna have to give it quite a few coats. But we're gonna let this dry, and we'll see how it goes from there. So another note, I broke this off. Nice going, Craig. When I was tapping on it, and I looked down in the sand pile and I thought, are you kidding me? Something you're probably not gonna notice, but I will glue it back on. Excellent. Okay, we'll go from there. It is pretty dry, and once it dried, to get the rest of it off, I took a small fan brush and I just did a real light dusting over it, over the trash can, and got my mess cleaned up, and that actually turned out pretty nice. So it gives it just a little bit of texture, but it's not enough to be like, whoa, you got grout in your car. So I brushed it a little heavy here, but there's still a lot of grout there. It's just, this might be still wet. All right, guys. So I decided to let it dry a little longer, and as you can see, it's pretty much leveled out in color. So we're gonna get ready to spray it and see how she looks. Alright guys, that's after a couple shots of paint. I found I let it cure, or basically let the paint set up just for a little bit first. Then give it another shot. That seemed to work pretty good because it soaked in pretty good. Other than that, I mean, that's turned out pretty nice. So I think that looked really good because I didn't want it the same color as the interior. So it's, the black actually worked out really nice for that, kind of hindering that color. So it'll give it more of a darker tone, and it gives it that undertone like it's got some deep shag to it. So it worked out pretty good. The only thing, if you guys are using the grout like I did, the only thing I would suggest is take the grout out of the package, because mine was old, and to like grind it up a little bit, or like make sure there's no chunks or particles in it, because I did notice there's a few spots in here, like the spot where it's kind of got a little bald spot going here. It had a chunk there. After I let the glue dry and sweeped it away a little bit. But other than that, so it was a good learning lesson on it. So it didn't do too bad. So that turned out pretty cool. Custom carpet. Love it. Alright guys, just a quick segment on how I do my carpet. And like I say, this was a first time for me doing it this way with the grout. And I like it. I'll definitely do it again. So that turned out pretty good. So guys, when you're putting the interior together, if you do decide to carpet it, your best option, I did mark it out to get some of the area not as covered, but like the sides here, you have to scrape that off there, because I'm telling you, if you don't, a lot of these panels line up even with the body. So when you're going to set them in there, they're going to sit higher than you want them to. So that's why here everything will sit nice and cozy. So like around the seats, just make sure everything sits nice and true when you put it in. Alright guys, the interior is completed. And I have to say, it looks pretty nice. I don't have decals for the dash, so I kind of replicated a kind of a bird emblem in the steering column. So yeah, it looks pretty good. A little chrome accent around the seats. Not too bad. I have to say, using that chrome pen, there's times it just wants to come out good, and there's times it just wants to drag. But yeah, it turned out pretty nice. So there we have it. That is my carpet installation. Looks pretty good. I like it. Alright. Well, we're going to try to get the rest of the car together and we'll go from there. Well, guys, the chassis is finally done. Everything is all set and squared away. Turned out very nice, very nice. So we got our colored firewall on there. Everybody looking good, looking good. I didn't get too carried away. So, oddly enough, I have no idea, but my transmission mount's missing. So thankfully it's got some pretty good mounts up top. Holds it in place pretty good. So yeah, we are all set and ready to finish the body, and we'll go from there. So yeah, she's looking good, looking good. We're almost there. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for everybody that has subscribed. Once again, you guys have a good one, and we'll catch you hopefully in a little bit, and we'll finish this thing up for once and for all. You guys have a good one.